Hello, we are finally here, and that is an understatement of the night. This is the Nemesis Project, where we talk about every Resident Evil game, and tonight's episode is the Resident Evil 2 Remake one. And we have a special guest with us, Will from Daily Dorks. Hello, Will.
Hello, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I am tired because work sucks, but I am here.
And also, you had to wait for me for an hour to get my mic working.
It's all good.
Which I apologize for.
No, don't worry about it. I have a Coca-Cola here, so I was fine. I was
okay, good.
Thirst up. And back again, we have Zach.
Hello, hello.
And we all love the Resident Evil franchise. Most of the games we love. Some are just, terrible, but funny and amusing to play. But tonight, we are talking about Resident Evil 2 Remake. This game is fucking amazing. I just want to put that out there. Will, are you, since you're part of the Daily Dorks, is there anything going on with the Daily Dorks lately?
No, not really. We're kind of in hiatus. I've been very busy with work and stuff, and I'm just kind of I'm taking another one of my unannounced breaks, I guess you could call it. But
Yeah.
we're coming back eventually.
Nice.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned, everybody. And Zach, your streams. I know you were streaming Survivor last time, right?
I streamed that last week, and then I streamed Sunday. Actually, you were there for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Resident Evil 2 remake, so we could have some footage and stuff that we could put in the YouTubes. Yeah, everybody, we're on YouTube, by the way. So if you go search on Game Journal, and then you find a Nemesis Project where we have Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 1998. But let's get into the road of Resident Evil 2 Remake development. This got announced in 2015, if I'm correct, right?
It was either that or 16.
Yeah, because I remember in E3 they wore a shirt and they had a video at the Sony press conference, I think, where they just took off the button up and it was we do it. And then
I don't remember that part.
That's where I kind of draw a blank, because I remember them going, speaking in Japanese, and then out of nowhere they just pull off the shirt like they're Superman and they're we do it. And I'm cool. What are you doing? And then they show Resident Evil 2 on the TV and everybody went nuts.
Yeah.
I think that might have been 2016, because 2015 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have been too long ago.
Well, we've been waiting for Resident Evil 2 remake for 17 years. Well, when did Resident Evil 1 remake come out?
2002.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess we've been waiting since then. I never really thought about it that much, but I guess that's about how long we've been waiting.
Yeah, and pretty much after they did the We Do It shirt, either in 2015, 2016, we didn't get a trailer pretty much until 2018 of, hey, it's coming out January 29th, I believe, or 28th. It might have been the 25th.
I think it was E3. That was the first time we ever got any footage for it throughout all that time.
Yeah, and
I think it was the last E3. I think it was 2018, because didn't they have a trailer where it was from the perspective of a rat or something?
Yeah, you couldn't really figure out what was going on, and then the shell fell over because a guy was wrestled with a zombie, and then he died, and then it's pretty. I'd say it's a pretty iconic trailer now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they showed the PlayStation 1 console, and everybody went nuts. That was, even when that got shown on the trailer, I was like, okay, it's a PS1 game. What is it? Until I saw the zombie is when I was like, oh, it's Resident Evil 2 Remake, the one we've been waiting for a long time. But yeah, and then after that, it was pretty much smooth sailing. We're not gonna have a lot of history on the development until later on, probably, when we find out what happened behind the scenes. So I just know that there was a following for Resident Evil 2 Remake since the first remake came out, and for some strange reason, Capcom was like, we're not gonna do that. Like Capcom was like Konami back in the day, and now Konami, now Konami sucks, and Capcom is like amazing because they made Monster Hunter, that's great, Resident Evil 2 remake, that's great, and now Devil May Cry 5, that's great. So,
well, I wouldn't go that far because they were still making good games around that time. It's just I think what happened was the sales for that remake disappointed them back then. Of course, when you only put it on one console and it's the lowest selling one, what do you really expect in returns?
mm-hmm.
So,
And Will, you played the first remake, correct?
I have, yeah.
The Will.
But yeah, you talking about the GameCube one?
Yeah, the Resident Evil 1 remake.
Yeah, that for a while that was actually my favorite one. I really got into it once the HD remake came back out, and yeah, that game is, to me, like, for the longest time that game has been like the pinnacle of Resident Evil, and now we're in a weird time because it's like you got these other two games, you got Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 remake that are very different, but are also still so very like Resident Evil. So, but yeah, the original one for GameCube, that one was amazing.
Yeah, I said last episode that like Resident Evil 1 remake, I like it for what it is, but I prefer the PlayStation 1 one, because when they started changing things up in Resident Evil 1 remake, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Everything's so different, and it freaked me out. And then Zach was telling me that you get like so many unlockables where you have invisible enemies and shit, and I was like, nah, that's not me.
Yeah, those modes are really fun. Well, the invisible enemies one's a little annoying, but I think there's a mode called Real Survivor, and I think that's the one, correct me if I'm wrong, that's the one where you have to, if you put it in this item box, then those items are stuck in that item box. Like the item boxes aren't linked.
Yeah.
And yeah, that mode it's fun. It makes the game even harder, but it's really fun.
Cool. Yeah, so let's move on to the differences between Resident Evil 2 1998 and remake. We already talked about 1998. What was different about the remake? So who wants to start?
Zach, if you want, you can start, because there's so much that I still don't even remember about this game.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, first off, obviously, it's just like the perspective and how the game works now, which is like strictly third person over the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, there's still like some inventory management stuff in play, but at least if you play standard or novice, whatever the easy mode is, you get a lot more item space, more hit pouches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Standard is more of like they give you more items, but I also feel like they still stick to the survival horror, where if you use your bullets like too much, you're screwed. You're like shit out of luck. And hardcore is even more fucking terrible when you shoot at the zombies and you miss, and you're waiting for ammo in like 10 to 15 minutes later, or 20 minutes.
Yeah, like the standard mode has that adaptive difficulty too. It's the only one that has it, because I think the other two modes have like their own curve that's always in play.
Mm-hmm.
So even standard sometimes can get kind of rough. I can remember, the first time you fight Birkin, every time I fought him, it was like super easy. And then this one time I was doing another playthrough, I was doing awesome. I had so much ammo, I had so many supplies. I went down there, and for whatever reason, he just was absorbing shots like crazy, and I ended up using a lot more ammo that time.
Wow, that's funny you say that, because I was texting Joe the other day when I was playing Scenario B, and that's exactly what happened to me. I wasted all of my ammo on Birkin.
Mm-hmm.
Like 20 shotgun rounds went on him, and then I think I even had the Magnum at that point, and I wasted all my Magnum ammo too.
Oh, can we really talk about this really quickly about that fight? When I brought the Matilda first, and I was like, oh, there's handgun bullets down here. And then if you play Scenario B, you get this M19 handgun, and both the Matilda and M19 bullets boxes look the same, but if you look really closely, it says M19 on it. And
yeah.
When I was fighting Birkin, I was like, oh, I got the Matilda, I got these bullets, and I go, point my gun at Birkin, and no bullets are coming out. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to combine. I'm like, why ain't this combining? Then I found out there's M19, and I had to restart everything again because I was trying the whole not saving thing.
Yeah. Well, the boxes say they're colored a little different, but they actually say they're 45 APC rounds, which Matilda does not use.
Yeah.
Is that how it works for the whole scenario B? Like all the handgun ammo you pick up is specifically for that new handgun, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah, it really fucked with me. Obviously the difference between 1998 and Remake is the inventory system. It sticks with the Resident Evil 7 engine, where it has your slots and then it has your like quick draw. If you hit on like up, down, or left or right D-pad, you can take out whatever weapon you want right away. I dislike the inventory system. I kind of like the flashy old ones where, you know, it looks like you're in a computer system in your mind doing all the inventory system.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the inventory system?
It didn't really bother me too much. I think we talked about this like on a stream or something. I prefer a lot about the old games, but to me the inventory system's kind of just like a cosmetic thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it too much. I'd say the only thing is probably just from a nostalgic point of view. I like the old ones better, but I think the new one's fine. It's essentially the same thing. It's just like uglier, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Zach, what do you think?
I kind of feel the same way. It didn't really bug me any at all, actually. I was just like, oh, this is just how it looks, and that was kind of it.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of funny mods out there, especially with Mr. X being in a thong, a Speedo, pretty much.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Or Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah. That there is a mod where you could have... It says the old school inventory system, but pretty much each box has the color blue from the old inventory system. So I'm like, that's not the old system. Don't try to debate me on this.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, there's a lot of mods I want to do. I want to do the RE3 mod. I want to have Thomas the train chasing after me because I think it's funny. And I also want to do Naked Leon and Naked Mr. X because I think it's funny.
I stumbled upon those by accident on the mod, whatever that website is that they have the mods from. I don't really understand people's fascination. Like I expected Claire nude mods, which I found. I'm like, okay, this makes sense. But then it's like, oh no, Leon too.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. X in the song.
I just think it's funny because, you know, you see this terrible big dude created by Umbrella Corporation just chasing after you in a Speedo. And I just love the part where he's like bringing up the helicopter and he's just like in a pose like, hey guys, I'm gonna chase you. I'm trying to think what else is different. Obviously the perspective is different. The pretty much the map of the PD is different. Small differences, but if you played the old Resident Evil 2, like, it starts to become familiar with you, even though they changed up a lot of things. If you see the ramps when you first come in, it kind of resembles, not the ramps, the stairs resemble the ramps. In the old game, you had the ramp going up to the desk, and then you had the statue in the front. But now in Remake, you have the walkways to the statue, and then you have the stairs,
which makes way more sense because before that made no freaking sense. It's like you get in that main hall and it's like, how do you get upstairs? It's like, all you need to go all the way to the left or the right wing and just go all the way around and go up some stairs over there in the fire escape or something, instead of there just being a set of stairs there.
Mm-hmm. And did you notice that when you go up those stairs, they put like a red ladder there just to kind of be like, hey, you guys remember the ladder from the old one? Here's a ladder.
Yeah.
I'm like, I actually didn't notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, there's like small touches that are there. They had the library that's there. the Star's office, wasn't that on the bottom floor of 1998?
No, it was on the second floor, and
Yeah.
it was on the same side of the building too.
Okay, so that got it right. Because they changed it up like a little bit, I always thought it was always on the bottom floor, but maybe that's just my mind getting fucked up and everything. Scenario A, they had the liquor come later, and scenario B, the liquor was in the spot that it was supposed to be from 1998. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got me with that one. Well, not the one in the hallway, but when you go to do the jewel puzzle, with the book and the arm in that side of the police station, and like in scenario A, I was like, oh, the liquor's to come through the ceiling here, but then he didn't. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess they took that out. And then in scenario B, he came through and he killed me.
Yeah, a lot of scenario B really fucked with me. I'll just say that because I played scenario A a lot of times before I did scenario B, and when scenario B came around, I'm like, this Rex is coming now? There's a liquor here? Why are there so many fucking zombies in my way? And that's how I felt throughout the whole thing.
Oh yeah, they just straight throw you to the wolves in the B scenario. It's pretty difficult at first, even on standard.
Oh my god, I could imagine what hardcore is.
Well, I'm gonna find out.
Oh, you guys haven't played hardcore yet?
I played hardcore the A scenario. I didn't play B.
I have been. I just started. I'm not done yet, but I'm gonna play through and go do B as well.
Oh man, good luck. I couldn't get out of the gas station.
Oh, I kind of got used to it actually. I think it's pretty fun. It's just challenging. You just gotta like keep in mind a few things.
Yeah. I wasn't used to dodging zombies in this game. When I first started, because I'm not gonna brag here, but I'm very good at dodging zombies in Resident Evil HD. So I'm like, how hard could it be in this game? And it's not that difficult, but on hardcore mode it feels a lot harder. Like I feel like they move faster.
They do.
Yeah, so it's not fun. But
the zombies have reach like Dalsum in fucking Street Fighter. It's annoying.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They call it the magnet grip, I think, is what everybody calls it.
More of the outline of the place. When you go into the basement and into the lab, I really liked how they did it. I felt like in 1998 it was a little longer getting to the laboratory, and I feel like in Remake they kind of just say, oh, here's the basement, oh, here's the sewer, boom, laboratory. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
I felt it was kind of this. I mean, I didn't really notice too much different about it other than like, oh, the sewer section is expanded upon a lot. Some people don't like that. They don't really like the sewer. I don't mind it. I thought it was interesting because it was so different. So
I just don't like the shit monsters.
The poop monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were not in the original, as far as I'm aware. They were kind of annoying. But yeah, I don't know. I thought the sewer was all right. I actually, like, as of right now, I feel like I didn't like the lab as much as everything else.
The lab was shorter.
Yeah, it was definitely shorter.
Yeah, it felt very short, very kind of like almost rushed at the end. And also, I just think the, when it comes to that, the police station is just so much more interesting and it's so much more iconic. That to start with that and go to the sewer, which was expanded and was pretty good, and then to end with the lab, I don't know, just like by comparison, it was kind of hard to live up to the beginning of the game.
Yeah. And then the boss battle, I mean, I'm trying to think. You had Birkin, and then you had Mr. X, and then you had that Crash Bandicoot Gator boss fight.
Dude, that threw me off. I was like, why are we all of a sudden like running towards what is going on here? The whole perspective changed. I mean, it was cool. It was a little off-putting because it kind of doesn't really jive with anything else in the game in terms of like the gameplay, but it was cool. I'm glad they included it still, I guess. Yeah,
I kind of wish they went the old school route of just you could either waste all your bullets on the gator, or bring the gas thing down and shoot it in its mouth. But what else was I gonna say? The plant monsters are weird. They're like mini Groots chasing after you.
Yeah, that whole part almost kind of reminded me of Dead Space.
Mm-hmm.
It was very. I seriously, I felt like I was on the Ishimura at some points. I'm like, what? This is so weird. They were cool enemies, but it was just kind of odd feeling for a Resident Evil game.
I was waiting for like the little Shabahara plant monsters to attack me, but I was disappointed. Before we move on, is there anything that you saw that was different from the old one and the new one before we move to voice acting and cutscenes? Zach?
Yeah, I got something, but it's not really like something I noticed so much. It's just how some people reacted to the perspective change with the game and stuff like that. Where it's funny because like when we got that first trailer that actually kind of showed the game a little bit, and then that it brought the hype up to the surface, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody starts speculating, like, oh, is it gonna be fixed camera again? Is it gonna be pre-rendered backgrounds? And then it's like, no, I don't think so. At this point, I highly doubt it. But you really did have people that really believed that was gonna happen. And then the gameplay came out, and oh my god, like so many people on the internet, like it's not nearly as many as what it would seem like. It's just a loud minority. They lost their shit, and they're like, well, I can't believe this. I don't want to play this game now. It's not fixed. I'm like, did you really expect a fixed camera angle at this time? You know, the year we live in. That's not going to happen, man. We're done with that. It's just not coming back.
Yeah, I was one of the people that really wanted it. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this is fine. This looks good.
I mean, I wanted it too. You know, I still love that kind of gameplay. But you know, I'm fine with it not being that way either, because I know it's like most people don't like it. Most people, for some reason, can't really wrap their head around the controls and never really get used to it. I don't know.
I mean, like the argument people always make is that the fixed camera angles kind of added to the horror element, like the tension, because you felt like you didn't have control. But you know, it's 2019. There are easier and more interesting ways to make a game feel, you know, to get that horror feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It was definitely a nostalgia thing for a lot of people. I think like I wouldn't have minded either way, but I'm totally satisfied with the way it came out.
Yeah, to me, I felt like they nailed it though in terms of like the scares or the atmosphere, so to speak. Because like the problem before was it seemed like when they were making all these over-the-shoulder games, and that includes like the Revelations games to an extent, they couldn't really figure out how to get you as well as they used to, you know. And this time they actually thought about it more like, oh well, you know, when you're walking around in real life, you can't really look around blind corners, or you know, you can't look behind you. It's startling when a zombie grabs you from behind because you just don't know he's there.
But you know what?
Yeah.
You still get that with this perspective, because there are zombies where you're like, just going down the hallway, and then all of a sudden the zombie just pops out of nowhere like Randy Orton doing an RKO on you.
RKO!
Yeah. And even Mr. X, I have a video on YouTube of me just trying to look around and stuff, and I'm still running away from Mr. X, and then Mr. X just comes out of nowhere and just punches me in the face.
The camera kind of fucked you a little bit. I saw that, yeah, but like that was your fault, but it was that you could also blame the camera.
Mm-hmm. So
Mr. X got me good at one part. He I was trying to get away from him. I was in the save room by the photo developing save room, and he walked away, and I thought he like left the area because I heard his footsteps stop. So I was like, okay, cool, I can get into the weapons locker now. And as soon as I opened the door to the weapons locker, he was just standing in there, and he just punched me right through the door.
I like the one that Zach was he was walking down the hallway, and Mr. X just comes out of the door and just punches him in the face.
I had no warning. I didn't even hear footsteps. You were there.
Yeah.
I just walked through this door, and then all of a sudden, bam! Yeah.
That was badass. But yeah, I agree. I mean, imagine if this game came out and they did pre-rendered backgrounds, tank controls, and fixed camera angles. You know how many of these like millennials that probably not millennials, just people that don't play or never played any of the Resident Evil series, they would be shitting on this game so much.
All the Fortnite kids, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "What the hell is this crap?"
And be like, back in my day, this is what we fucking liked.
Really, I'd just like to see what a game like that would look like now from like an artistic perspective, because the Resident Evil 1's remake and Zero look really nice still to this day, even if you just boot it up on a GameCube.
Yeah.
Well, I know they're doing a mod on fixed camera angles, but I don't know about pre-rendered backgrounds. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of the fixed camera angle mod. I mean, it looks cool, but I don't know. I honestly, I think the new camera angle, they did a really good job with making it like the camera angle now. Like, yeah, it's over the shoulder, but I don't know, the way it feels, it definitely functions differently than, you know, the camera in Resident Evil 4. Like what I like a lot is when you're running from Mr. X a lot, you know, it always sounds like he's right behind you. And what you can do is, especially if you know like the area ahead of you is, you know, free of enemies and stuff, you can pan the camera around but continue running forward to the point where it goes almost into that Crash Bandicoot view from like the alligator, where you're running towards the screen and you can see right behind you where this dude is. And I did that quite a few times, and you know, it didn't help me to know where he was. It just scared me.
Dude, lickers scared the shit out of me when they're chasing
Yeah, same thing
me.
with them. Same thing with them, man. It's
They're fast.
Before we move on to voice acting, Will, do you have any final things you want to say that's different from the old one?
I mean, we could talk about that forever. I feel like there's so much that's different. No, I mean, I just really like how they remixed the you know, all the old stuff that they cut out, and then they threw a lot of those scares, like the liquor coming to the ceiling and stuff. How they put all that stuff into the B scenario. I really liked the way they were able to, you know, remix all of that stuff.
I agree, and I also agree. We could talk about this section for like literally 3 hours, and I don't think we have the time for that. Moving on to voice acting, we'll cut this pretty quickly on that. In the old Resident Evil games, and Zach, and I know you will contest to this, shitty voice acting. In fact,
It's pretty bad, especially in the first game and Survivor. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I mean, it gets better in Revelations, and I want to say it did get better in Dead Aim and Code Veronica, even though Code Veronica was kind of silly, especially with Steve.
Wait.
Steve and Alfred
shit.
were pretty awful.
Barry Burton and watch out, Jill. Whoa.
This hall is dangerous.
Joe, were you there when I was streaming it?
Mm-hmm.
And I did the whole voice acting mod from you can mod the original voice acting into the HD remake.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so good. I loved what the hell was the one line? There was one line that like killed me. Oh, it was the Richard line. Because like when you if you use that mod for the HD remake, when you're fighting the snake, Richard doesn't have any voice lines in the original to use for there. So somebody just took the part where he was like "ouch" and put it over when he was getting eaten by the snake. It was so good.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I love mods.
Yeah.
The voice acting in the remake was interesting because it was good, but it also had that campiness where it was like, oh man, Leon, you sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, like, there was some that was weird, but every time Leon got bit, like, he sounded like he was saying, like, oh, phooey, even though that's not what he actually said. Like, he didn't want to curse, but, like, when Claire, when she gets mad, she's cursing up a storm. You're like, fuck this, you know, goddamn zombie.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, she cursed a lot, and
I love it.
It's funny too because I noticed all that I didn't notice the cursing so much, but I noticed in the trailers they just had like odd reactions to things, like when Leon especially, he has odd reactions throughout the whole game. But yeah, like I'd be playing it and I just ran, like there'd be zombies and I would aim and just out of nowhere Leon's like, fucking asshole. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I get it's a zombie.
Leon's reactions are funnier though, because they're so odd. Like sometimes it just sounds like he's complaining, like he's a woman that broke his nails. He's like aiming. He's like, God damn it!
Yeah.
shit.
It's
Yeah, like the voice acting wasn't bad. It was just the way it was like their tone of voice and the things they would say in the scenarios that they were in just were very odd to me. Like,
I still think like Japanese directors were like directing English speakers to say this stuff. I mean, like,
well, if that was the case, then compared to the original Resident Evil, how far have they come? Because
I agree.
yeah, man, that first Resident Evil is just. Well, I was actually thinking about this too when you first asked me to be on the podcast, because I was thinking about the voice acting, and I mean, like, just think about it for the time. Like, Resident Evil was, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Resident Evil was like one of the first games to actually have voice acting. I feel like it was that, Metal Gear. And I'm sure there's a bunch of others I didn't play, but like Resident Evil was one of the most high profile games to have voice acting. So for the time, I mean, there was nothing really to compare it to. So I guess it was good at the time. But
1998 was a big year for Sony.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. It's kind of hard. Like you have this game Metal Gear that comes out, and the voice acting in that game is pretty good. It feels a little rushed at times, but it's pretty damn good, and it holds up to today's standards, I think. And then you got like this game Resident Evil that comes out over here right alongside it, and you got lines like Jill, like it's. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with the remake, like the campiness was. You kind of chuckle because I think they were kind of not into like, hey, we knew we had shitty voice acting, so we're gonna make this like a B-rated movie kind of dialogue, and that's what I got out of this game. There were serious points to it, especially when you're playing as Sherry. That was a creepy ass fucking part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like other times, like Leon, he had that whole link in the first Zelda, like, excuse me, princess. Like, that's all I kept on thinking every time Leon was talking. And what do you think of the cutscenes and just how each model looked for each character? I really like what they did with Ada. I really like what they did with Sherry and William Birkin.
I agree.
Zach, what do you think?
I like the way everybody looks. I didn't have a problem with any of that. Some people were complaining, like, oh, they changed the faces. They ruined Claire's face. She looks nothing like how she used to. Like, specifically her, she got a lot of flack. And it was like, they would make comparisons to, like, the stills of the CG cutscenes from the original game on the PlayStation and shit. And I'm like, that's like 20-year-old CGI footage. How can you even compare that? Like, it's fucking asinine.
The only thing I'll say is that Leon kind of looked like a member of the Backstreet Boys. And
He always did, though.
Yeah.
True. Maybe I just think of Leon more in Resident Evil 4 as like a badass than Resident Evil 2.
He still had that wonderful hair that makes him look like a backup Backstreet Boy.
Yeah. And then Claire had that weird smiling at wrong moments kind of thing.
I guess, but it's like if you go to take a look at the face model that they, took inspiration from, like it's basically her face. She has that same kind of deal where like her smile is kind of big. It's kind of like overdone, but that's just how that's how her face is structured.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really fault them for that. That matches the person.
Yep. Well,
I have to look at her again because I didn't play Claire first. I played Leon, and I remember people coming into the stream saying like, "Yeah, Claire is always smiling at the wrong moment," and I saw her, her 3D model, the actress who portrayed her, or whatever. I saw her like once, and they look similar, but there is something off about the model of Claire. I would say like she's the only character in the game who like I think she looks nice, but at the same time I also think she kind of looks like she has like Botox or something. Like there's something just weird with her smile.
There was a part where 2 parts where Sherry's dying and she's like smiling to like don't worry, Sherry, I'll get you, while doing like a smile. I'm like, you bitch, fucking stop smiling, she's dying.
So she can't help it when the Botox kicks in, man. That's just how it goes.
I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't recall that.
Maybe my game was bugged, but then there was like the part where the final battle of Birkin and she was like smiling at Annette, And I'm like, why is she smiling? Like, it's
I
not.
don't, I don't recall her smiling during those parts.
I think
I think you're on the reefer, man.
Hold on, let me check it.
Maybe we shouldn't call it smiling, but it was just like this jovial look that she had.
I mean,
I don't know.
eventually she took so much joy in fucking blowing away all these monsters. It's become enjoyable to her. I don't know. It's enjoyable to me.
You just love Claire.
I mean, yeah, but like,
Yeah.
also like blowing away monsters.
I agree with that. In the violent way, not the other way. Oh god. We're gonna move on to scenario B in our outline, where we just talk about the story. And I have them in sections. I feel like we're gonna go free flow on this section. What do you guys think of how it started? Starting off with the grocery store and then going on to the street where pretty much the semi truck comes and crashes into them.
You mean the gas station? I would like for one to start in a grocery store one time, though. That'd be pretty great.
Yeah, the gas station. I want to kind of point this out right away. Leon's at the gas pump and he sees blood on the floor on the car and stuff, and he's just acting normal, like filling up his gas and stuff, and he's like, oh, I wonder what's happening in here. Like, wouldn't you be like, oh, shit's going down? Like, you kind of felt like Leon didn't know what was going on, pretty much. Just like in the original Resident Evil 2, where he's like, oh, I'm going into work, it's my first day. And he still had that feeling, even though seeing, like, the gas station in a post-apocalyptic chaos and everything, and he's just like, you know, pump on five on, you know, pump 5, and he's just sitting there.
Well, I mean, in his defense, he doesn't actually know what's going on. He just pulled in to get some gas, and he just kind of sees something weird. He's like, what the hell? So he decides to, like, go inside and see what's up. And, well, he did train to be a police officer, so maybe he's just trying to actually do his job.
I think I'm just being picky, but
that's just how I feel about it.
But you know what? Maybe I'm just biased because I've been in this situation before. But since we're replaying this situation, like at the same time, like, you idiot, it's a zombie apocalypse. Of course, there's like cars and the store is all mangled up.
But he doesn't know that.
I know.
You gotta get to the character, man. You gotta look at it from his perspective.
I gotta role play like Leon and be a whiny little bitch.
This is a role-playing game.
Some people actually think that, by the way.
Yeah, and they're stupid.
Wait, what? What's the argument there? It's a role-playing game?
People believe that it's an RPG in a way, and I'm like, there's no leveling up, and there's no quest or anything. I'm like, where do you see an RPG in this?
There's no stats.
Basically, ignorant people that don't actually know anything about video games and played walking simulators actually think that.
I mean, it's a role-playing game in the sense that you're playing a role, but I mean, that's not what really people associate role-playing games with. It's like got to do with, you know, stats and like what you said, quests and stats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's weird. People are odd.
Yes.
People are very odd.
The internet is odd. The PD section I did enjoy because of nostalgia. There was no backtracking at all. Like, you could pretty much take whatever route you want. There were some items that you could pretty much skip around if you wanted to. But how did you guys play? Did you explore and wanted to go in each room and get all the keys?
Yeah, I tried to do everything that I possibly could. I mean, it helped that I was streaming it a lot of the time, so you guys on the stream were helping me whenever I think everyone on stream helped me with the whole what's it called, the stars badge. That's like a USB drive, and then it had like some other like secret thing you had to get with it. Like, people helped me with that, but yeah, I'm so bad at like finding my way around in these games. Like, always lose my way. And the fact that this game didn't have fixed camera angles and everything was open actually helped me in this game. But yeah, I don't know if I did too much backtracking. I just kind of went wherever I felt like going, wherever it would let me.
Yeah, and the game was kind of linear in a way. Like, even if you did rush through the PD section and then you went into the basement and then you came back up, it kind of gave you a second chance being like, hey, you didn't really search through here. Do you want to do it? And you just say, fuck you, I'm still going. And skip a lot of items that, like the two uh, keys for the locker room that you can get more items like an inventory space, a knife, and bullets and all that.
That I did. That I made sure to do once I found out that you had to get those like keys or whatever to fix the keyboard. That I made sure to do because I was like, I need some freaking weapons up in here.
Mm-hmm. Zach, how'd you play the PD section?
I pretty much, went off memory somewhat and then kind of learned new layout as I went. There is backtracking because you'll find a lot of doors that are locked, and then you're like, oh, it's just like before. I got to find the suit keys and go here and there. Like this, there's a steam blowing through this doorway. How do I get through the steam? Stuff like that. And then, yeah, there's all like the little optional kind of extra items you can get if you want to put in the work to do it. You can skip a lot of items and not pick them up. And that's one of the things that drives me crazy about watching other people play this game, be it on a stream or in real life, how people just skip over stuff. And it's like, there's fucking bullets right there, man. Like, that's important.
That's also the stuff that gets you killed.
It can, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I got so good at this game, it's just I don't care. I just run through all this shit and just get everything. I don't know. Like,
there was in both of your streams that I kind of went like, oh man, what are you doing? Like, I know a lot in Will's stream when you first played it, because I already played it already. And my pet peeve, and this is nothing against you, this is pretty much any streamer that I watch, is like when I know something right away, I kind of want to say it, but I know the golden rule of backseat gaming, and I tried not to be like that guy. I'd be like, hey, you're supposed to do it this way, and like type it really quickly, but you ended up saying, hey, I need help.
Yeah, I had most people get that rule, and which I appreciate. Some people kind of just come in and they just assume like we're doing a walkthrough here or something, and we want to get through it as fast as possible. And I get both sides of that, because it's like, as a person watching it, I guess it can get boring a little bit when, because I was lost for a good like 20 minutes, I think, when I first played, and I thought I looked at everything, and it turns out there was just an open door that I didn't walk through. But yeah, no, I appreciate you not backseat gaming, but I did ask for help eventually, because it is still pretty different from the original. So like, I thought I was going to go into it and be like, I'm going to be able to do everything, because I remember the original vaguely, but no, there's enough that's different in this game that you kind of, it's going to take you some time to really get acclimated to it and figure it all out.
Yeah, because it was so different, and you still had your backtracking here and there. I don't think it was that bad as it was in the old game, but there definitely was backtracking. But you had your statues that you had to get the medallions for to open up the statue. You had the jewel room. You had the famous that helicopter scene where it just came out of fucking nowhere and decided to blow up on the PD section. I mean, everything was so familiar, and I think the PD section was like really, really good, and it ramped up pretty much when Mr. X came. And if you play scenario A, Mr. X shows up after you put the water on the helicopter, and if you play B, he literally comes within the first 5 minutes of the game, and that really fucks with me. What else, Zach, that you want to bring up in the PD section?
Let's see. I don't know. I kind of liked all the new rooms they added, like the locker rooms and stuff, and the third floor.
Bathroom, finally.
Yeah, there's finally bathrooms in this place. That whole other side, like around where the Chief Irons' office is at, that was all like new floors and rooms there. Also, like the hidden items you could backtrack and go get if you bothered to try to figure that out.
Oh, what? So you can get the creepy picture of Rebecca Chambers and Wesker's desk?
I just now caught that, like when I played the hardcore stream recently. I was like, what the hell? It looks like there's a film roll in there. And then it doesn't give you the item pickup indicator to get it. You just have to know to try it.
What do you think? What do you think Wesker was like? It's like, yes, Rebecca, basketball. I love it.
I don't know, man. That was in the original game too, and it's just like, it's weird because like I think Wesker's like kind of old at that. Well, not old. He's like in his mid-30s, I think, around then. So it's like he's like leering on like some girl who just hit 18. I don't know what else to infer from that.
I mean, he is like a freaking psychopath, so maybe maybe he's a pedophile too.
Yeah, but she's not a pedophile. She's
well,
legal.
That's true.
I mean,
well, she's legal in the game. We don't know when that picture was taken.
Yeah,
well, that's true.
She might have been in high school. Oh my god, I think we just cracked open a case here.
Dude, I mean, yeah, seriously. Like, was it the same picture? Because I didn't get it in the remake. But isn't she in like a soccer uniform or something?
No, she's like wearing like gym shorts and like a little like jersey with a t-shirt kind of thing.
And she's stretching, so you could see like an armpit.
She's not stretched. Well, yeah, she is stretching in the new one. In the old one,
she had her hands in her like legs area. I remember that. Or
maybe it was like her high school like soccer team photo or something. I don't know.
But yeah, like I like those extra items you can get, like the if you're playing Leon, you get the flame fuel canister, flamethrower canister, and you get the extra weapon upgrade. And you wouldn't believe how many people miss that. They don't figure it out.
I will tell you this. I did not fucking know that you could take the shield and open up that little glass container.
Oh, the little stars badge thing? Yeah. That too. That's another one that a lot of people miss.
Yeah, I had somebody just come into the chat and just straight up tell me how to do that.
There was go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. I was gonna say, one of my buddies, I watched him play like in real life. I was kind of helping him out a little bit because it looked like he was having a hard time. And like I noticed he had like a bunch of items in his box, and he had like that little the little blue box you put the red jewel in to get the stars badge.
Uh-huh.
He had all that shit still in his box, and he was in the sewers. And I'm like,
oh my god,
what are you doing? He's like, what? I'm like, put that thing in the box. And he's like, okay. And then he's like, oh, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, he missed a whole gun and a bunch of other shit because of that.
My god. His boss battles must have been crazy.
He was cutting it pretty close. It was like skin of his teeth all the time.
Yeah. Will, anything on the PD section you want to bring out?
No, I mean, just as a whole, I thought it was really, really good. Like, I don't dislike any section in the game per se, but like just the PD section I thought was awesome.
Yeah,
it was the best part of the game. The whole, especially when Mr. X is there chasing you around, like, which is actually why I like, as difficult as it is, I like the beast scenario so much more, because you get so much more of that. He's basically there from the beginning, constantly chasing you, and that was just the best part of the game.
Yeah, Mr. X kind of like puts a lot of tension, and I'm dreading for Resident Evil 3, but I want to play it because of Nemesis, because Nemesis is going to run and shoot rockets at you. So if Mr. X is just walking and fast walking and trying to punch you, I can imagine what Nemesis is going to do.
And it's going to be for the entirety of the game.
Yep.
Well, at least up until like almost the very end, because like I think Nemesis is there basically up until like good like 98% of the way, and then he turns into that blob monster or something.
Yeah. And quickly to mention before we move on, the PD section, Marvin had a bigger role. Instead of just sitting in the locker room saying, hey, I guess you're not having your party. He kind of says that in the new one, but he kind of saves you at a certain time. It was a great nod to Marvin. Like, hey, Marvin,
yeah,
he has a bigger role. Moving on to the basement and sewer section. William Birkin first fight. When I first saw him, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. But then, like, the first battle that you had with him was kind of annoying, I thought. where you're just running around and you had to shoot him in the eye, and every time you tried to aim for the eye, he would like move it, like he was like wiggling and shit. That's one of the problems I have with the game a little bit, is the aiming, because of the zombies always moving. But I guess that's, in a sense, that's kind of realistic in a way. Like, if you were in a situation, zombies would be shuffling and these mutants would be going crazy. So you would have like the tension of trying to aim at the person. But what'd you guys think of the Birkin fight? Will, you go first?
I thought it was all right. I get what you're saying about the aiming thing. It is like the enemies move a lot, especially when I was playing the ghost. The whole, I missed a lot, but I don't find it as annoying when I miss in this for some reason. I can't really explain why, but probably because it's just so satisfying when you actually do get like 5 headshots in a row. But yeah, the Birkin thing, you notice the issues with the aiming, I think, a lot in the boss fights. He was very annoying to hit. Well, it also depends on the gun you're using. Like I just, because I was so scared the first time, I'm like, I'm in a closed space with this guy, I got to take this guy out as fast as possible. So I switched to the shotgun right away, and the shotgun, was all right. You don't really miss with the shotgun, although the way the shotgun in this game works, it doesn't have very good spread damage, so I guess you kind of can miss with it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just straight up went with the shotgun on him, and in the A scenario, it was all right. I was telling you before that in the B scenario, I wasted 20 rounds of I just straight up emptied my entire 20 rounds into him, and he was still going. And then I had to waste my Magnum ammo on him.
Yeah, the M19 threw me off, so we talked about that before, where I had to restart the whole game and do that fight again. Zach, what about you with the William Birkin fight, the first phase?
I liked it. I know what battle it was kind of aping in the first game. It's the one where I can't remember. Yeah, when you play as Leon, you meet him in the same form too, I think, depending on how you play. Like you'll meet Birkin, and he just has like a pipe, and he's at his smallest size at that stage, and in that one it's like super easy. You kill him pretty quick if you just hit him a few times. But like in this one, it was a little more challenging. Like, I know I said before I kind of beat him very easily, but I feel like that was because the adaptive difficulty was doing it. But yeah, when I played in hardcore, yeah, he took a little bit longer to actually down, and it can get harder the further it drags out, because eventually he'll flip out and start hitting pipes in that area, and it causes a bunch of steam to like permeate the area, and it obscures your vision and stuff.
Yeah, and then he starts to like jump like Incredible Hulk, and then pop out of somewhere else and grab you, and that can get annoying. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Zach?
I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Kind of quickly, we could go to the second Birkin fight. That fight pissed me the fuck off. One, that crate that you move around with the crane and stuff, too fast. I thought, because when I hit the button, I'm trying to like lure him in where the crate is, and then try to move out of the way. But every time that crate hit me, and it was annoying. But I found a strategy where you just had to use the flash grenades and then shoot him down where he kneels and shit, and that's how he would, that's how you would defeat him. What about you guys?
What did I do? I'm trying to remember. I think, yeah, I think like once the first time I did that fight, I did not know what was going on, and then I eventually realized, I'm like, oh, I have to hit this button to push the crate back. Once I did that, I just would run around the area shooting him until I got him to fall down, and I'd immediately just beeline for the button, click it, and I think on the normal difficulty, it's just you do that about 2 times and he's done. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the first time though, it's cool. It's a little it's funny. It's almost like it's designed to not be difficult, but like because I was so scared, because I'm like, shit, I'm stuck in this area here. He's right on my tail. He's chasing me. I didn't realize at first that you could hit that button. Like, I'm pretty sure he actually killed me the first time, because I didn't even. I'm like, how am I supposed to fight him around this giant crate? But yeah, then I figured it out, and he died.
Yeah, the whole intensity of that was crazy. Zach, did you pick up on it right away, or did you have like me, the trial and error of trying to defeat Birkin in this second phase?
No, I think I actually did figure it out pretty quickly.
Oh, so I'm the dumb one here.
I mean, I can remember what happened. I kind of walked in the area and like I saw everything, and I'm like, I'm in this little tiny space, you know, that you have. It's like a big, I don't know, like a scaffolding or something.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, I saw the computer there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see how this is gonna be. This is gonna be like a scripted boss battle thing. I guess it's just where I played so many games. It just that stuff like I can just pick up on stuff like that immediately. Usually,
Hmm. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. There was a lot of trial and error in this game for me. Probably because I'm not a good gamer, but whatever.
oh man,
I'm not a pro gamer. I'm not MLG, 360 no scope. Not a lot happened. I mean, we could talk pretty much about the Sherry scene where the Chief Irons was like, "Hey, I got Sherry. She's hostage. You got my damn pennant. Bring it to me, or nothing will happen to her." And then you kind of go into Sherry at the orphanage, doing this whole creepy puzzle thing because she's not too strong to take down a cardboard and tape on the wall.
that puzzle's dumb. That's the only puzzle I don't like in that because it just doesn't. It's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, also, wouldn't this guy who's, really intent on holding her hostage, check to see whether or not there's like a hole in the wall?
No, he's too busy thinking about stuffing that girl down there he captured.
Yeah, that's the mayor's daughter, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's another creepy scene.
You
Then
get to play as her in the Ghost Survivor mode, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I played that one yet.
Yeah, I didn't do the DLC yet. I did the two survivors, so. But yeah, like that scene was. I know on hardcore it's a little hard, but on standard it's pretty easy. Just you have to hide while he's looking for you, then grab the keys and then get out of there. And then William Birkin's like, "Hey, that's my daughter," and fucks him up and like impregnates him with monsters in his stomach. Which I believe are the poop monsters that go to the sewer, if I'm correct, right? Right.
Yeah,
Zach?
I think so. I think they're called Mature G's, which sounds really fucking weird. That sounds like a rapper name. Like I'm Mature G, bitch. Like,
that's awesome. I kind of want to make that my gamer tag now.
Yo, why are these scientists so bad at naming things?
I don't know. I just think Japanese were. I just don't know. I'm just gonna leave it there.
I still call them poop monsters just because that sounds better to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the poop monster, like in the original one, it's like you have this boss fight that is like on a bridge, and in this one, it's kind of like you have 4 of them, but you could just totally just ignore them. You don't have to. I think there's like one you have to fight because he's in your way. And you can just shoot the eyeball.
You can ignore them. It's kind of hard to sometimes though, because they grab you sometimes. You try to run past them.
Mm-hmm.
And really, in that area, I mean, it depends on how good you are, or how much the adaptive difficulty fucks you. But you got to have some sub weapons there, or something. It's harder for Leon. You really need some weapons if you're playing him. But if you're Claire and you got some flame rounds, your grenade launcher, you'll probably be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, Claire has such an easier time with her weapons. Like between the grenade launcher and then that electric shock weapon that she got, whatever it was called,
Spark Shot.
Yeah, those dudes go down so easily with those things.
Mm-hmm.
So easily.
Yeah, when Leon gets the flamethrower, it totally torches him. It's pretty much made to kill those things.
Yeah.
Implants.
Yeah, the IVs too.
Yep. The quickly Ada's thing. I think that was another part of the game where I was like, oh man, I do not want to do hacking of using this device to find the fan controls and the door unlocks. I kind of just wish that I was just Ada going to point A to point B and stuff. I did not dig the whole hacking the system kind of thing. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I actually didn't really think about it too much, but I agree. I would have rather just been out there, attacking stuff, shooting people and things.
Mhm.
But also, I died like twice during that part with the hacking, because I kept like once I got put in the once you get locked in that room, like a
Mhm.
net locks you or whatever in the incinerator. Like for the life of me on the first play, it took me up until about like the last 5 seconds to actually find the first thing I was supposed to hack, and yeah, and I just died.
Zach, what about you?
Um, yeah, I thought the hacking stuff was a little hackneyed. Just didn't really. I don't know. I don't really feel like it was all that. It seemed like kind of half baked idea, I guess, but it wasn't offensive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think I would have rather just played like a maybe a more straightforward kind of run with her, uh, picking up a little bit more ammo, maybe solving some puzzles specific to her. Like it could have been like I don't know, maybe if it was something more like there's kind of a fairly difficult puzzle you need to solve with her, she could do it. Maybe she uses her little hacky bullshit to help her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that maybe would have been better.
Why couldn't she use her hacky bullshit to just like hack our way out of the parking garage?
That's a
True.
very good question.
Holy
Because the RPD has the best security system, brother. They also have USB dongle for their SWAT team that exists in 1998. Now USB did exist back then, but it was definitely not widespread.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't. I think maybe the first time I saw a USB drive was in like 2004 or 5 or something. I was like, why do we have these like fancy things in 1998?
I'm pretty sure USB back then was really just used for like extra devices for your computer, like a external CD drive or something. Not like
Yeah.
there wasn't no little thumb drive. That shit just did not exist.
Yeah. And then it was hidden in like a jewelry box because it's a Resident Evil game and it has to be difficult.
It also feels like something you'd get in like a loot crate, like the whole like, oh look, it's a Stars badge.
Oh, they should have done that. Like if you ordered like the collector's edition, they totally should.
That would have been cool. Like I remember I used to subscribe to, and every now and I think I got like a Game of Thrones like House Stark USB device. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. It's not very useful because it's kind of hard to plug into things, but like that's what it felt like to me. I'm like, this just feels like a loot crate item that would be sort of useful.
Yeah. Other than that, like the basement and sewer section, I thought was like a good little bridge to pretty much the conclusion of the lab, which we're gonna move on to the lab now. We did talk about the plant section. Plants look like mini Groots and stuff. It was interesting on how they did it. Will said it looked like Dead Space creatures, and I agree with that. I did like the section where you were going into like West Wing, East Wing, and North Wing. It had that iconic scene where I mean, they added the elevator in the middle, but wasn't there something different in 1998 where you had to put like a key in the middle?
It was like a big fuse or something to reactivate the power in a certain area.
Yeah, so that was interesting. I did not dig the whole, I guess, tablet thing that you put into, like, you had to find the radio frequency to turn on certain lights. I thought that was annoying.
I kind of like that. I thought it was kind of a neat little puzzle.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I liked the noise it made. And
yeah,
it was a relatively simple puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
but it was fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
It had the iconic scene where you had to go in the cold room, and then Leon had to make a stupid, and it's like, oh man, it's so cold in here. I'm like, yeah, Leon, this is why they call it the cold room, you idiot.
I think he said like, oh, I should have brought my parka or something. But you know, hey, that actually lines up with kind of the snarky little lines Leon has in like Resident Evil 4. Where's everybody going? Bingo! Like your right hand comes off.
He was preparing, man. He was preparing for his stand-up comedy routine.
He's always had little smart-ass one-liners, see, so they remembered that.
Then you're gonna find out Leon's gonna have like a Joe Rogan podcast kind of thing, the Leon S. Kennedy experience.
Yes.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
He's like, yeah, so I went to Spain and all these guys are just fucking weird.
They're all just trying to kill me, man.
I did DMT that day. The lab, what? I mean, there was a final Birkin fight. Did you? I thought it was pretty good. It was definitely different than what 1998 was, but I also felt like it was underwhelming. Like it didn't have a good payoff. But then you find out like it actually they throw in scenario B where you get to fight like the Blob, Birkin. What'd you guys think of the third phase of William Birkin?
You're talking about the first lab fight, right?
Yeah.
It felt like a Bloodborne boss fight. Like the way he transformed, I was like, "What the hell is this, man?" Like I need a dodge roll right now.
Yeah, and I wish we had a dodge roll in that game. I will say, just because everybody had magnet reach and stuff.
I feel like you might, not to go off topic, but I feel like you might get a dodge roll mechanic in the 3 remake, because 3 is the only game that kind of has a dodge mechanic, from what I remember.
Yeah. So hold on to your butts. We may get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember. I remember, at least from my experience, I remember people not liking it very much. It was, but yeah, who knows? Maybe maybe we'll get a dodge where all you have to do is hit square, you dodge,
or roll around. Zach, what about you? What do you think of the first Lab Birkin fight?
I thought that fight was kind of tough. Actually, it actually took me a couple tries to kill him in that form. I'll admit it. Just because I don't know why, but at first I just didn't it didn't register with me to hit him in all the eyes. I actually thought there were so many. I thought it was just like bullshit, like it was just part of his design or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally bosses in modern games just have one big fuck me light on it that you shoot. I'm not used to there being like 7 all over his body or something.
Yeah, that was actually the first Birkin fight that I actually defeated really quickly, and I was like, that's it?
That's funny. Yeah, it took me 2 tries, though, but yeah.
And then I just liked how he got angry and he started throwing shit at you, and then I just kept on hiding. I was like, you suck. And I just kept on shooting him in the eyes, and that's pretty much what you had to do.
Yeah.
Some quick note, like, before you do the fight with Birkin, the first one, like Annette hits him with this like splash gun or whatever, this chemical that knocked him out for like a good minute, and instead of just like moving away from Birkin to go talk about what happened, they just have a conversation right next to him. And I'm like, just why? Just move away.
It looked like he died.
Well, don't think. It's like, yeah, didn't they watch Halloween or something where Michael Myers just keeps on getting up?
Dubs, you got roleplay. Remember, Halloween doesn't exist in this universe.
Fuck.
Yeah, that dude's really good at pretending to be dead. Like he even did it when he was still human. When he got like gunned down.
Mm-hmm.
He was like if you watch that video footage, you're like, that dude just got annihilated, like instantly dead. And then later on, it shows a cutscene with him and Annette, and he's like walking around like riddled with bullet holes, and he's like, they took my stuff. I'm like, you were dead. What the hell?
He's like 50 Cent. He got shot and still alive. Kind of
shot like 900 times.
Yeah. What else? I mean, that was in the sewer scene. The whole, puzzle with the chess pieces. I thought that was pretty annoying, but nostalgic in a way. Man, I got annoyed a lot.
That was another example of how they remix things, because I remember like in the original, correct, the first Birkin fight happens right when you're about to solve the chess piece puzzle, which is it's like in a completely different area in Resident Evil 2. So if they did it the same way in the remake, the chess piece puzzle would have been right where you fight Birkin for the first time in the remake, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just another example of how they changed things. It's so hard to like keep, because I haven't played the original in so long, so it's so hard to like remember where like things were here and there and stuff. Like as we're talking about this, it's all kind of just coming back to me.
And with the remake, like, because you're so used to 1998 and then you play the remake, it kind of like overlaps, like overwrites your old 1998 save and with this new remake, and it kind of all blends together. It's kind of weird. Then you had the second Birkin fight. I mean, there's many Birkin fights. If you're Claire, like if it's Leon, you have that third one, and then you fight Mr. X in its final form finally for that final scene. But if you're Claire, you fight William Birkin one more time on the train thingy that's on a platform. And I thought that was pretty easy too. That I did that on my first run, because you get a fucking minigun.
Yeah.
Another gun that, you know, Claire has all the fun with, and Leon has to, you know, man his way through things.
Yeah, seriously, I mean, you know, she gets all the best weapons, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, you know, in the first game, the old version, her loadout wasn't as great. The grenade launcher was always good, but outside of that, like her handgun held less bullets, and that bow gun was kind of shit. It was only really good in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they wanted to show her a little bit of love in this one, give her like a better loadout.
Yeah, and I keep on always remembering shit. The kendo scene, boy, did they throw that in there and be like, oh my god, that's fucked up.
Oh yeah,
killing his daughter and shit.
Yeah, poor Robert Kendo.
Yeah, and he also implied he shot his wife too.
Yeah,
he had to kill his family.
At least he wasn't like a degenerate pervert in this game. I remember the original, like, you know, he's kind of a dick to Leon, but then, like, you know, when it's Claire, he's like, "Oh, sorry about that, babe. Don't worry,
yeah.
you're safe in here, babe. Just hang out here."
And
he's
then
like, I'm keeping a close eye on things. And then when you walk around the room, Head is always following you.
And then he just dies.
Yep.
Like, yeah, real good eye you're keeping there, dude.
Yeah, so that was pretty good how they made Kendo into like a normal guy that sounded like he was from New York and Missouri.
Wait, so you didn't did you said you didn't play the Ghost Survivor stuff, right?
No, I didn't. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I played them. I played all of them except the extra one you unlock, just because I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Okay. I mean, if you haven't played it, Joe, we don't have to talk about it then.
Okay. I mean, we could do a quick mention when we do the Survivor missions. Kind of gonna end the lab section here real quickly. There was like a final Birkin fight if you do the scenario B, where he's a big blob in the fucking train, and that was easy. I mean, all you got to do is shoot the fuck me light, pretty much, where he becomes a vagina, pretty much, and you have
he becomes a Cronenberg monster.
Yeah. And then also Ada, when you find out that she's like a traitor and stuff and a mercenary just trying to get the G virus. And then Leon having like an emo moment on the train where he catches up. He's like, man, I feel bad for her. I'm like, she just betrayed you. And you fall in love with this person that you only met in like an hour?
I mean,
He does.
He didn't fall in love with her.
I mean, it kind of did look like he fell in love with her.
I mean, she forced herself on him. Remember? He was just talking. They were sitting there. And then she just like fucking kisses him out of nowhere to try to persuade him to do the whatever shit she wants him to do. And then he's like, okay. So he goes and do it. Of course. Of course that would happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like, he just kind of says like, man, I can't believe I miss her. And he just throws that bullshit away, that little ID tag thing.
Yeah.
Dubs, you got to get into the character's headspace.
I think about shit way too much.
He definitely has a thing for her. Especially
for
like
sure.
Especially like, how many years was it between that in Resident Evil 4? Like 8 years?
I think so, yeah.
He still can't let her go.
She keeps on showing up.
She keeps on showing up and you know, convincing him to do things he doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Maybe Leon should be more alpha than beta, in my opinion.
A little bit. Well, he's pretty alpha, but it's just that one part of him that
his rookie year
just stays there. Everyone's got that ghost from the past that keeps haunting you.
That beta-ness.
Yeah.
All right. Any final words on like the story? Did I miss anything key moments that I kind of skipped over?
Trying to think. I mean, when we talked about the stuff with Sherry in the orphanage.
Ada, Mr. X. Well, there was only like 2 boss battles, and that was pretty much with Mr. X and the many forms of Birkin. I wouldn't count the Gator as a boss fight. It was just like I shot a gas tank and it blew up.
You know, I mean, the story was pretty cut and dry. It was, you know, very easy to follow. Basically the same as the original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we covered all the bases.
Yep. All right, let's move on to pretty much the final road, the stretch in the road. I totally messed up that saying, but whatever. The home stretch. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Hardcore. Let's start off with the hardcore mode. Everybody's played it. It's a little hard, I will say. When you get bit or get hit, it's automatic danger. I noticed Birkin, the first one, there was a lot more shots that he had to take on him. Everything just needed more bullets. You needed to... there was an ink ribbon compared to the standard where all you just had to do was go to the typewriter, and the inventory was very scarce. Like, there was not a lot of pouches there that you can get and be like, hey, I got all these pouches on me, I have a fanny pack on. But what do you think of the hardcore mode, Zach?
I like it. It's an adjustment because you got to adjust to the fact that, oh man, a zombie can grab you and put you in danger. And then like one of those ones that are just laying on the ground like they're fucking crippled or some shit, and they grab your leg and ankle bite you. That can kill you.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get used to how much faster all the enemies move, the amount of damage you can take, the limited inventory. And I feel like you can just kind of get used to it and adjust, though. And like to me now, it's like it feels kind of normal.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, I agree. And well, you played hardcore, right?
I mean, basically for like 5 minutes, but you know, I'm familiar with it. You know, I imagine it's more or less the same as like the other hard difficulties in Resident Evil. I played a decent amount of 7, so I know it's similar in the sense of like I guess using ink ribbons to save now is considered hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I actually understand why they would do that, because I can imagine people getting into the series for the first time now and being like, "What the hell is this? I need an item to save my game." Like the game just usually saves itself. So
I got punished for dying.
Yeah, right. I know. I know. What a strange concept. But yeah, no, I imagine it's. I played for like 5 minutes and I got killed twice in the gas station, and I was like, I think I need to play through a couple of the scenarios before I attempt this. But yeah, it definitely seems difficult. I don't think, having played it now, I don't think I'll have that much of an issue when I go back, because I know where everything is. I think it'll be easier to dodge enemy stuff. I think the B scenarios, from what I've experienced so far, I think they're going to be very challenging on hard.
Oh,
looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see Zach stream it. I might stream it just so that you could hear me cursing all the time.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be fun. Because like not to go off topic too much, but you guys played 7, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I played on Madhouse.
Yeah, how did you like that?
I fucking hated it. I hated my life, but I did it.
I mean, that game felt a little different just because, at least for me, the way I played it, on the normal difficulty, I rarely killed enemies. I ran away from everything. So, you know, when it came to Madhouse, it's like, okay, I'm used to this already. I'm just gonna run.
Yeah, that game, the enemies, you can be like, peace out, motherfucker. I don't need to kill you unless you're a boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get into that when Resident Evil 7, when we review it.
Yeah.
Survivor missions. I will talk about Hunkin' Tofu really quickly. If you remember in the 1998 version, you had to do a lot of shit, a lot of S ranks, and a lot of not saving to get this. In the remake, all you have to do is do A and B scenario, either in standard or hardcore, and you get it. And Hunk was easy because you have weapons. Tofu, on the other hand, all you have is knives. And pretty much, like, liquors were fucking me up the whole time. And then when Mr. X got involved, I couldn't even do it. Zach, how'd you deal with it?
Well, yeah, Hunk's pretty easy. Playing Fort Survivor with him. I mean, well, at first when you play it, you probably die a few times because you're trying to figure out like exactly what you do. And to me, like after I finished it, now I can just finish it whenever almost.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you really want to get good at dodging zombies and enemies in this game, you play that because it will make you get good at it. You have to get good at it, or you won't complete the mode. And then Tofu is another one. It kind of does the same thing. It makes you think about dodging even more because you have to, because all you have is a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know there's like weird tricks or something with the knife that you can do. Like, so I think somehow you can like lock lickers down and just run away from them or something. I haven't tried to look into it yet, but even without that shit, I almost finished it. I think I got to the part where you're almost at the gate and I died there with Tofu. So I think I can do it. I just need to keep trying.
Yeah, and you played the DLC, right? So I kind of want to know about Kendo, and what was the other two? So I know you had like Catherine or something like that, and another umbrella person.
You play as the mayor's daughter, Catherine. That's the Runaway. That's what it's called. It's called Runaway. And then, yeah, you play as one of the USS guys that were in Hunk's unit that allegedly he survived that attack and he's getting out of there with the G virus sample.
Mm-hmm.
And then you unlock a fourth one after you complete all three, where you play as the sheriff who dies in the gas station. And it's actually pretty cool because it's kind of like you're surviving waves of zombies.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed. I mean, man, I feel like I've been a downer the whole fucking episode.
You just like to bitch. It's what it is.
I'm from New York. It's in my blood.
That's what we do over here. We complain about everything.
That's what we do in the Northeast. We just fucking coffee too hot, fucking cool it down. I thought with the DLC, I was like, oh, we're gonna get some like side missions. Maybe we'll see what happened to Catherine. Maybe we'll see what happened to Kendo. What I've noticed is that they do kind of do a little story, but it's like, all right, now you just gotta run away. And I'm like, I just don't want to run away. I kind of want to explore with these characters and get some side stories, and I didn't get that.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the DLC. I didn't really like it too much. I mean, it was free, so I don't want to complain too much, but yeah, no, I was expecting more, and instead I just got these like quick like slideshow cutscenes, and then next thing I know, I'm running around as Robert Kendo to like techno music and killing zombies. That actually cracked me up, man. That, like when I think like so you start right outside his gun shop, and then as soon as you get into the parking garage and you blow up all these zombies, like the beat drops and then this song just starts playing, and if you actually are like running at the right time, you actually run almost exactly to the beat of the song, and it's so funny. It's really funny. It kind of kills it for me.
You know, you know, it'd be funny.
What were you gonna say?
You know, it'd be funny if they had like I want to be, you know, that hero song from Short Circuit 2. I need a hero. Imagine you going through that fucking level with that song from Bonnie Tyler. I need a hero.
I don't know that song, but that might have been better.
Zach, you know what I'm talking about, right? Short Circuit.
Oh yeah,
2.
I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah,
dude, that battle scene in that fucking movie is fucking fun as hell. Johnny 5. Oh god, showing my age a little bit. Yeah. I mean, if you're a fan of Hunk and Tofu, you will like this DLC. Alright, we're gonna do some lightning rounds here. Since we kind of talked a lot about the game, I'm kind of gonna give you guys questions, and you guys just give your answer on them. We don't need to go into deep detail, kind of, because we already went through this through the Scenario A and Scenario B section of the podcast. So, who do you prefer to play as? We'll start with Will.
Definitely Claire.
Yep, because more guns.
Yep.
Zach, what about you?
Claire.
I'm gonna be the opposite guy and be Leon because he's a man.
How sexist of you.
I know.
Yeah.
Second question: what was your favorite boss, Will?
Mr. X, if that counts.
The final form, pretty much.
I mean, we talking specific like boss fight because I just like Mr. X in general.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
All right.
Zach, what about you?
Oh, I guess it would kind of be the same. Yeah, just Mr. X in general. I like the final boss fight with him. I liked how he had a move that would instantly kill you no matter what if you didn't know how to avoid it.
Yeah, that scene that took me a long time. I actually have a video of me fucking up like 30 times, and I was like, "Oh, all I have to do is wait him out until I get the rocket launcher." I felt like an idiot. Mine obviously is Mr. X, so that we all like Mr. X.
Everybody likes Mr. X except idiots.
Yes.
'Cause there's people that don't like him. They complain about him, and they're like, "Oh, he makes his game so hard." I'm like, all you gotta do is like learn the layout and run away. That's all you need to do.
Also, that's the point. It's supposed to make the game hard.
Zombies take too many shots. I'm like, I mean, yeah, they're zombies. What do you want? Like,
I have to push buttons to play this game.
yeah, it gets to that point. It's like you're just complaining. Like, just shut up.
It needs to be battle royale.
Fuck.
What's your favorite part of the game, Will?
Definitely the RPD.
RPT. Zach, what about you?
The same.
I'm gonna have to go with laboratory. Because I thought the Groot monsters were interesting, and I just love the visuals of the laboratory. And then finally escaping, and then fighting Blob Vagina Monster Birkin, if you play with Claire. What is your favorite weapon, Will?
Probably the grenade launcher. If not that, I really liked the spark shot is what it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the spark shot a lot.
Zach, what about you?
Let's see. Yeah, the spark shot's pretty cool. In the old game, it was kind of underwhelming, but in this one, it's like fucking awesome. And grenade launcher's always been a favorite. I kind of wish that they had like explosive rounds in this game. They just didn't have them for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the extra handgun Claire gets out of the trunk of that car in the garage. It's the one that replaces a revolver, essentially.
Is that the one with the laser sight?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one too. That one was great.
It's like the best handgun in the game because of that. You don't have to wait for your aim to focus.
Yeah.
And it just does really good damage and it has good capacity. It's just great.
Yeah. Mine, I would have to say the Magnum with Leon, and then the submachine gun with Claire.
Mm-hmm.
Because, hearing that submachine go off was, I don't know, nostalgia came in, and how she holds the gun, like she's in place and you're like, da-da-da-da-da. I don't know, I'm weird. Leave me alone. What is your best rank, Will, in the game?
For like the main scenario, I think a B.
B?
I think so, yeah.
Zach, what about you?
I think I got an A. I think I got an A like on my second playthrough. No, it was like the third or fourth.
Yeah. Me, I got a B because I saved so much and ruined my ranking, and plus I did a lot of exploring, so that kind of hurt me with time.
The first time I played, I had like 30 saves. So, I don't know, just because I didn't know what else to expect,
And I imagine the hardcore gets a little insane too, because you can't save as much, so you have to play everything carefully, and when you're gonna save too, because ink ribbons do run out. It's not like you have infinity.
Yeah, they do, but I feel like at that point when you're playing hardcore, you should already be familiar with the game. So to me, I don't feel like it's as much of a handicap as they would lead you.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're like us, you play all these games, you're used to stuff like that. So
yeah.
you're already preconditioned to like have limited saves and stuff.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with that, just always make sure you're saving your ink ribbons.
Yeah, or go play Fortnite or something.
Yeah, go play Battle Royale, you fucking noob. We're gonna move on to our final section, and it's gonna be pretty quick. Any final thoughts before we move on to our rating? Do you have any final words, like we're at a funeral for Resident Evil 2 Remake? Starting with you, Will.
I really liked it a lot. As of right now, I haven't finished Kingdom Hearts 3 yet, so it's my game of the year so far. I think this is a very good direction for Capcom to be moving in. They seem to be going in a good direction in general, like you said earlier, with Monster Hunter, Devil May Cry, hopefully Mega Man at some point. If they're going to keep doing this. But yeah, no, I really like it. I loved 7. Hated 5, hated 6, but I loved 7. I couldn't believe how good 7 was. I was worried that 2 was going to not be as good. I think 2 is I think it's pretty much just as good as 7. It's different, but it's just as good. It set a new standard for what a Resident Evil game can and should be, and so I'm very satisfied with it, and I really hope that Capcom keeps doing this. They keep going in this direction, and yeah, overall it's very good.
Nice. Zach, final words.
I really liked it. It pretty much was everything I ever hoped it would be, I guess. There really is not much to complain about with it for me. A lot of it is just little nitpicky things that don't really matter that much.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me excited for the series again. Like, I'm looking forward. I feel optimistic, and I haven't felt that way in a really long time. I like 7, but I also thought 7 was kind of weird, and I had, after you play it all the way through, like, I literally had no idea what direction the series was going to go in, even though that game was good.
Mm-hmm.
It still felt really uncertain to me.
Yeah.
This one, if this was me, I think they should use this remake as a springboard to reboot the whole series, because there was talk about rebooting the series anyway. But that's just what I think.
Okay. Me, on the other hand, I would agree that it's in a good direction. I think every Resident Evil that they make from now on should be in this format. I like RE7, I do, but like you said, Zach, it was kind of weird. And I think first person, I don't want a first person Resident Evil game. I kind of want that third person view that they had in Resident Evil 2 Remake to be the rest of the Resident Evil games. And I think they need to follow that formula, because RE2 Remake was really, really good, and so far it is also my game of the year. Not because I'm a Resident Evil fan, it's just that I haven't had a good Resident Evil game in a long time, and this is above Resident Evil 7.
Oh yeah, that too. It's my game of the year as well.
Nice. So we all like Mr. X, and we all think it's the game of the year. Let's get into our rating. Will, since you are new here, I want your top 5 Resident Evil games that you like, or in 5 being the worst, and then number 1 being the best.
Let's see here. We got. This is a little hard. Can I start from 1?
Sure.
I would definitely say I still think Resident Evil HD is my favorite. I still think that's like, the pinnacle of the series for me. Following that, I guess I'd say this might change at some point, but I guess I'd say 2, the remake of 2 right now.
R2 Remake.
Followed by 7. Followed by 3, and then 5th would have to be Resident Evil 4. That was very difficult for me to do.
Yeah, it was I kind of, forced it on you.
It's okay. It's it's hard to make. I mean, I could tell you much more easily the games I don't like. Those are definitely the top 5, though. I'd say I love each of those almost equally.
Cool. All right, Zach, we're moving on to our big list. At the moment, you have Resident Evil 2 in 1998 at the number 2 spot, and you have Resident Evil 1 at the 5 spot. Where do you put Resident Evil 2 Remake at?
Okay, so I'm going to shift things around a little bit.
Oh.
I'm going to put new RE2 at the number 2 spot and put the old one at 3.
Look at you.
This could change still because I'm running through a lot of the games I have not actually played in a while, so things could change.
Okay. I have Resident Evil 2 1998 at the number 3 spot and Resident Evil 1 at the 7 spot. I am putting Resident Evil 2 Remake at number 2 spot. So looks like me and Zach have identical number 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I wonder what number 1 is.
Actually, I'm curious. What is number 1? Or are we not talking about that today?
The way we do it, because you, I mean, we're gonna change this probably when you come on more episodes. But we have all the games are 13 games. So Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Remake, Outbreak, and all that stuff. I think we left out R2, Resident Evil HD, but that could still be classified as Resident Evil 1. But we do, like, every episode we put a game in there. So, like, right now we're doing Resident Evil 2 Remake. That's why we added it to our list. I kind of wanted I wanted your top 5 just in case you're not on some of the episodes.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're welcome to come on the rest of the episodes if you want to be on all of them.
Definitely. I'd love to talk about 3. Maybe in some of the other ones. I'd have to really, like... I'd want to replay some of them. It has been a while. Like, I know I was doing that, like, countdown stream, but I really only got through a couple of the games. So, you know, a lot of them are still unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, we're playing all of them again. So our mind is...
Nice.
Yeah. Well, that's the end, pretty much. This was the Nemesis Project on Game Journal on YouTube. We also have it on my website, which is nerdreview.com. And I also have it on Podbean, where I have the audio version of it, which is novnetwork.podbean.com. So if you want just audio, you could download it there. If you want to just put it on the website, it's on nerdreview.com. And if you're only YouTube only, like that's the only website you go in your entire life, go on YouTube and type in Game Journal, and it will be uploaded there with some footage that will be edited there. Will, I want to thank you, and it looks like you're going to be coming on more episodes, so you're probably going to be seeing more Will, who is part of Daily Dorks, who's on a hiatus at the moment, you said?
Yeah, I mean, I always do this. I kind of like get busy with real life, and then I kind of stop making... You can follow me on Instagram, though, where I post stupid videos all the time, so...
What's your Instagram, if you want to plug it?
What is my Instagram? I don't even know the name. It's Dr. 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 Dinosaur Music.
Nice. And he did do my intro to Escape from SideQuest, which is me and Andy. We do our video game podcast. It's really good. That's actually one of our most downloaded episodes. Is the the debut of the intro you made for us.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad you guys like it.
And I thank you for making it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Zach, what is your next stream?
I guess I am gonna finish the Claire A hardcore playthrough soon. And then I'll probably switch back to Survivor for a hot minute because it doesn't take long to beat.
It's an hour and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, and so I'll actually finish that out, and then I suppose I'll bounce back to Leon B hard, and then I'll move on to Code Veronica.
And I think I'm gonna stream Resident Evil 3, kind of to refresh my mind on it. And probably some Kingdom Hearts, because I need to start playing that. I know that's not Resident Evil, but whatever.
It's a good game so far.
Yep. On that note, everybody, I thank you for stopping by for Resident Evil 2 Remake. This is one of our longest episodes that we recorded. Actually, it's on the nose. We did an hour and a half. But thank you guys for stopping by, and see you next time for Resident Evil 3, for part 3 of the birth episode. See you guys later.
See ya.
See ya.